We are recording.
So we'll do like a quick rundown. So like, Dimitri, what is your character, and like, what would bring your character to the coastal town of Otari, which is like a lumber / fishing town. It's a medium-sized town and everything. People are good people. It is known to be welcoming to adventurers and things like that, because there's definitely been certain things in this town that has happened that only adventurers could possibly handle. So I kind of want you guys to have been in this town for at longest probably a month. So you kind of know quite a few of these people and certain things. So like, let's just so Dimitri, your character and class, and then like what's a good reason why you would want to be in this town during this specific time.
Okay. So my character is Xarysis. She is a witch oracle with the undead master dedication. Jamira was kicked out of the Arcane University several years earlier because she answered the Archmage's question of how many spells can a high-level wizard cast per day. She said more than enough to kill all of you and your families, and they didn't really appreciate that, so she was expelled. And so she said she was joking, but they didn't believe her.
Just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, bro. She's just a prank, bro.
Question is, was she really joking?
What's that?
So the question is, was she really joking?
Exactly.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. It's impossible to tell. So she, after that, just kind of wandered for a while. She was then approached by Zakaria, a floating, talking spell book that said it had a bargain for her from a mysterious patron that would grant her power in exchange for following its orders. Excuse me?
No, I said nothing.
I think it was Echo.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So she readily accepted and has gained power from both this patron and both occult and divine, apparently, from this patron. And so now she wanders looking for more sources that her patron points her to, and it has pointed her to this coastal village. And for now, she's just kind of been searching and waiting around, and just kind of trying to find like an art, searching like with their arcane senses, trying to see what is going to lead her to this power.
Okay, I like that. I feel like during that pact with this entity that was faceless and of the void, I feel like it called to you to come to this place specifically, and spoke of I guess a great bridge out into the emptiness.
Okay.
So that's probably like one of those things that it whispered while it made this pact to you, and it grew louder and louder the closer you got to Otari, and then it told you to wait and watch and keep your eyes looking upward instead of down.
Gotcha. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I think I can't edit the Zakaria image. I think I may have not unlocked it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me.
It was me because I gave it to myself. Not to do that.
I got you. Change it to owner. See if you can change it now. So like you have Rashid, and then you have Zakaria. What's Zakaria?
So Zakaria is actually a floating spell book. Well, he can float. She usually. I'm sorry. Are you talking?
Yeah, I was just like, okay, a book. Okay, Tom. Nice. I thought I just making sure.
Yeah. So like, it's where she will, usually cast her spells from. He can float, but usually he'll just be hanging on a belt off of her hip.
Nice. Is it what's Zakaria look like?
I'm uploading the picture right now, but it's a purple book with a skull on it and a giant eye. There we go.
Okay, I kind of need to see this. So, is it okay if I add like the skull actually rattles when it talks? If it talks to you?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. I like that. That's fun. I don't know if you're ready, CJ, but I'm gonna actually go to Maggie. Maggie, are you here?
I am.
Nice. So Maggie, tell us a little bit about your character, like her past and what she is as a class and everything, and then like what brought her to this town specifically.
So her name is Xenia, and she is a kitsune. And how she came to be in the place that she is in is kind of a long story, but when she was just a little kit, getting into trouble as kits are wont to do, in her homeland, she actually got a little too close to what was supposed to be the dormant volcano that the village she lived in was based at the foot of. She fell in, and like Anakin Skywalker level got crisped, and it was a really big deal, right? And should have been dead, but Saren Ray actually came to her in the form of a phoenix and basically told her that she had a mission in life that was yet to be fulfilled, and that she was going to be tasked with healing those that were on this mission, and basically brought her back with no real changes to herself except that she had this feeling of deep connection with the phoenix, and suddenly she had powers to heal people. But she never really forgot that Saren Ray put this big mission on her shoulders of, you have to go out and find this group of people you're supposed to be helping, and it's your job to heal them and bring my light to these people. And that's kind of where she's at. She's, as people who are part of prophecy often find, like, it doesn't always work out the easy way you would think it was, and so she's kind of just struggling, trying to figure out, like, am I doing what the goddess wants me to do? Am I using my powers for good? Blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of where she's at and how she got here.
Okay, how long, I'm gonna ask you again, Dimitri, but how long have you been in the town?
Me or Maggie?
Maggie first, but I'm gonna ask you in a second, D.
Okay.
She's probably been here a few months. She doesn't necessarily stick around forever, but she's kind of like, all right, how long do I wait till it? She's waiting for the sign that she's where she's supposed to be.
I got you. So you would definitely have been to the Dawnflower Library, which is actually one of the temples of Saren Ray, and you've definitely talked to quite a few of the high priests and some of the acolytes and quite a few other people in town. So when you came into town, you basically brought like a second son almost in a way, and people, you were kind of like a magnet to some people. Like, I'm pretty sure your character is a little bit more chipper now that she's been, on the other side, even for but a moment. So for the past, I guess, few months, you've met quite a few townspeople in Otari. Some prominent ones, maybe close to the town heads, and then even some of the lower ones who are probably like destitute, but somehow you brought the light and changed some of their ways. So that's pretty dope. I like that. So you have a pretty good connection with people here. Dimitri, how long have you been in Otari?
I forgot to say, Jamira is human as well.
Oh, nice.
And she has a hag mother, although she does not know it. She's a changeling. I'd say she's been in town for about a month and a half.
Okay. So you've probably seen the light of the Dawn Flower walking with Xania quite a few times, but her light may be a little bit too bright for you, maybe.
She would have definitely just kind of steered away. I don't know what that's all about. And
We're gonna be such great friends.
You got Wednesday, and then you got the really bright cheerleader. Nice. Okay. All right, Travis, tell us a little bit about your character, Steel.
Steel is a human champion / psychic. His heritage is actually Duskwalker, so kind of like Xania, he's also sort of been to the other side.
Nice.
So basically, the Duskwalker thing is you sort of make a bargain and your soul gets reborn as a Duskwalker, and you sort of service they call them psychopomps, which are essentially the beings that kind of ferry spirits from this life to the next. So I put down Caden Kylian as my deity that I worship, but I don't think, if it's good with you, I'd rather Steel not really worship any god, but he just sort of is in service to all gods. Basically, any religion, his background is pilgrim, so he sort of wanders from religious site to religious site, just kind of maintaining the roads, maintaining the buildings themselves, just protecting travelers.
That's perfect. So in the town of Otari, they definitely would need help with the lumber, the lumberjacks and things like that, since this town, its main source of product is exporting lumber and various things of that nature, and then also of course their fishery and stuff like that. So they would definitely probably use your hands and your sword to protect the lumberjacks outside of the walls of Otari.
So I'll give you this: he does not use any weaponry. He has no sword. He has none of that. He only carries his shield, and every offensive thing he does is with his mind.
That's perfect.
Interesting.
Regardless, they've probably seen.
They use me as a bodyguard protector, for sure.
So you're definitely well known within the lumber side, the workermen's and things of that nature on that side. So you would definitely know. Let me see. Trying to remember the name. Can't remember. I can't find it, but you would definitely know the owner of the lumber mill and stuff like that.
Okay.
The one that specifically hired you.
Gotcha.
I got a question. Is your armor shiny, or is it
I would say well, shit, I don't know. I would think probably not. I would think that it's pretty filthy from the road, and he's not a very vain man, so I don't think that he would maintain it to the point of serviceability, but he wouldn't care how he looked,
Okay. Yeah.
And I would probably say I've been here 2 to 3 weeks. He doesn't usually stick around in any one place long because he really thinks that his purpose is to man the roads and ferry folks, and basically it's he thinks he should be traveling, and wherever he is at that time is kind of his it's fate, so he feels like if he stays in one place for too long, he's sort of ignoring his fate somewhere else.
Okay.
But since probably they have so much work here and so much, he would probably, he has to feel like the stuff that's being done here is very necessary. So I'm assuming that he feels the need to be here,
Right. So I think after a certain amount of time, you did your job, you did your duty for the lumber yard and everything, and you kind of get that itch, that feeling again that it might be time for another great walk or another great expedition.
Yeah.
But you're taking a moment to yourself before you collect your things and head on your way. So it's probably one of those things to where you work really hard and then you're like, okay, let me take a couple days to myself and then back to it.
Sure.
So you're basically in that moment right now.
Okay.
You're taking a moment of rest, getting your armor clean, making sure your money's handled, grabbing the things that you need, and then you're sitting back into one of the taverns and you're relaxing this next morning before you head out the day after.
Copy. And just to say it, he is a Cavalier dedication, and he has the riding drake, and his is a sort of dark bluish one named Sky. Skye, because everything ends in E with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Fancy guy.
Lovely.
Fancy guy, but not really. You know.
Tell me.
Salt of the earth. Sorry, tell you what.
I said, tell us a little bit more about Sky. How did you get him? How did you meet him?
I would think that he's probably like a rescue. Like, just in his travels, there was probably like
a rescue dragon. I'm so used to hearing he's at my dog.
Well, yeah. I feel like it was probably like maybe Sky's mother or something was. Well, how quickly do dragons age in this world? Because he is mature.
I'm assuming drakes are like half the age limit of like pure dragons.
Because I want to sort of have the story of he's hung out with me since like he was little, but then I'm also only like 30 years old as a human, so maybe that's not true.
It could have been from like very young, like since you were both young.
Yeah, maybe he has kind of stuck around with me since I was like 10 years old or something. But I would assume that his mother was like killed in either like a dragon hunting or like some sort of thing where his mother was hunted down and sort of left him alone. Could have just been wandering around aimlessly, like in the woods, and Steel came upon him, and they sort of latched onto each other since. Because I feel like Steel's probably, like, if you go background, I would think he's actually like an orphan, and that's sort of why he was drawn to being a pilgrim. Just because, like, if you wander from religious place to religious place, they usually feed you, you know.
Okay. It's somebody nerd wise said that dragons can live to be like 4,400 years old.
Well, maybe Sky chose me.
So we'll say like drakes live to be as long as like a mature adult dragon. So like 400. So like very young is like 6 to 15, and then a young drake is 16 to 25. So yeah, y'all probably did grow up together.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, for the most part, like, if you look at my character sheet, when I'm wearing plate, I have 15 speed. So basically, at any point, I'm likely riding Sky, unless I'm, like, literally physically carrying, like, the lumber or doing actual repair work or anything. Like, generally, I'm on Sky.
Why are you so slow? Because you in big armor?
I'm wearing big armor, and I'm not particularly strong. I'm more so, like, mind over matter type guy.
Got it.
Cool. All right. CJ, tell us about Dane.
Dane is a Magus fighter. that actually focuses on archery.
Walking nuke.
Dane is a sprite. So it's a small fairy. And then he is also about 65 years old, but for fairies, that's fairly young, as they can live up to be about 1,000 years old. Background is a barista, so like more of a lawyer. He's very intelligent, charismatic, and how he goes about himself, dresses well, likes to keep things nice and neat. And he's actually here in this place more on business, as he's pretty much giving like legal advice out to other people, and just there for his services.
Okay.
I don't know if that fits the world or not, but that's what I've been imagining.
No, I can. Anything can work in D&D, bro, or Pathfinder. Yeah, like, and you said he's been here for how long? I'm sorry.
He's only been there for a couple weeks. He was summoned by someone specific, essentially just to give legal advice, not to necessarily be their lawyer, but to point them in the right direction on how to get out of a tight spot.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Like it's probably somebody in the Otari market. You know, they had like some local wares. They need to know how to go about a particular item that was that they perchance didn't come across it in the, I guess, the most legal of ways, and you probably assisted them in keeping those said wares. And with that, you know, you came across like a good amount of money to not only help them but also keep it quiet that they didn't necessarily find this or procure this item in the best of ways. But even over these 2 weeks, you definitely have come across quite a few different adventurers that have been out of place. Especially one who walks around with an interesting bird. Dimitri, tell me about Rashid. I should have asked about Rashid a little bit more. Like, how did you procure?
Say again.
How did you procure Rashid, or create?
Yeah, so like in her wanderings between her getting expelled from the academy, actually being approached by Zakaria, she was already a dabbling necromancer. She had already, been a part of the occult before that, and so she just kind of kept doing that. Mm-hmm. And so Rashid was just a bird she was just practicing on, and was basically just the first one that worked. And so he just stuck around, She just had him, and he's not been killed yet. So, or at least she can, if he has, she can just bring him back. So she just keeps him around.
Has not been.
That's her little Rashid. He doesn't look. He does, like, from far away you wouldn't know there was anything off about him until you get up close, and then you see like the mottled fur, feathers, and very conspicuous holes in him if you were paying any kind of attention. But other than that, like, I think it would not be barely noticeable until you're like really looking at him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Until the smell would hit you, actually, because he does stink.
Even better. I feel like there's gonna be kind of a weird connection between Zamira, Zania, and Steel, just because like two of them have been on the other side and have seen the either the light or the darkness or just the nothingness in between, and then whereas Zamira has played with that in a way. Mm-hmm. And some weird connection amongst you three, I feel as though keeps drawing you to each other.
Sure, like we keep running into each other in the streets.
I keep trying to convince her to actually let the spirits go.
Probably. That's funny. But and I'm pretty sure, Zamir, you have definitely been to the graveyard.
Of course.
The graveyard is massive, surprisingly, just because Otari has been here for, I want to say, maybe like 3 or 4 centuries. So generations have lived here for quite some time. And during some of your oh shit. Actually, Travis, let's stop this one.
Time to stop this one?
Yeah, time to stop this one. And then
Stop
give
it.
me one